Hi, folks. This is Scott Giles, and thank you for joining me and for tuning in to my Facebook Live video. I do one of these every Saturday at 2:30, and on different topics related to hypnotism or life coaching. Today, I want to talk about overthinking and the danger of overthinking. Now, overthinking is when you read way too much into a situation, and you end up imagining problems that aren't there. You think you can read the mind of other people, and you can't. And you react to what you think they're thinking or feeling, or you imagine that you know what's going to happen, and you start reacting to that, even though it hasn't happened and may never happen. You read too much into a situation, and it's a great way to make yourself absolutely miserable in a very efficient way. I'm sure you all know the nursery, the children's song. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Here's a new version. If you're happy and you know it, overthink. If you're happy and you know it, overthink. If you're happy and you know it, give your brain a chance to blow it. If you're happy and you know it, overthink. Now, we are all the center of our own universe. And so the things that concern us always seem to be very important to us. But there's a certain kind of, well, philosophers call it solipsism, a certain kind of overfocus on yourself, where you assume that because something's important to you, it's important to other people. And so we assume that other people are focused on us, and they see things that the way that we see them, or they're critical of us, or we make a little mistake, and we then torture ourselves wondering what other people thought about that, when in fact they didn't think anything about it at all. They just blew it off. Mostly other people care about themselves. They don't much care about us, except to some limited degree. And thinking that they care about us as much as we care about ourselves is a great way to make yourself nuts. Overthinking is a bad idea, always. First, it prevents us from being emotionally present with other people. We're listening to them, or we're pretending to, but we're actually focused on our own thoughts and conducting an interior dialogue with ourselves. We're not attending to the other person or situation, and the chances of our making a serious mistake are quite a bit greater. Here's a wonderful story. There's a humor columnist, Dave Barry. I believe he's in Florida. He wrote a book some years back called Dave Barry's Guide to Guys, G-U-I-S, Guide to Men. And he tells the story about a young couple, Elaine and Roger, and they're in Roger's truck and they're driving. And Elaine says, "Oh, Roger, it just occurred to me, we've been dating for 6 months now." And then he shows you her inner dialogue. "Oh no, I shouldn't have said that to him. He's going to think that I'm pressing him for a commitment that he might not want to make. His mother always pressed him for commitments. Do I want that kind of a relationship with him? I'm not sure. Maybe I should find some way to back off on that, or rather than reassure him, or, and on and on and on and on and on." And then the writer, Dave Barry, shows you what Roger's thinking. 6 months. That means we started in February. Looks at the odometer. Yep, it's time to rotate the tires. And that's an example of Elaine overthinking. Don't take things personally. Most of us do that far too much. Other people are nowhere near as concerned with us as we think they are, and the other people aren't as critical of us as we think they might be. Another reason overthinking's a really bad idea is it gets you stuck. If you're overthinking something, you're not doing anything about it. You're just frozen in time and space. And that prevents you from taking the actions you might need to actually address the things that you're overthinking about. So, what do you do when you wonder if you're overthinking and want to stop? First, one good technique is, in fact, mindfulness, if you're willing to learn that technique. There are meditation teachers, and most hypnotists incorporate mindfulness as well into their hypnotic work. And we can show you how to observe yourself without praise or blame, to get an objective sense of what's going on in your thoughts and feelings. And then you can make a more rational and measured response to what's going on in your environment. So a very good idea is to consult a pro and to learn the mental hygiene techniques that are needed to keep yourself from overthinking consistently. Another thing you can do, though, is just positive distraction can work very well. Get out, listen to music, go for a walk or a run. Distract yourself ideally with things that are pleasing to you. When I was a much younger man, and I used to have a tendency to overthink, when I got really in the weeds about it, I would just close my office, get in my car, go to the movie theater, and watch the next movie that was coming on. And I saw some really strange movies. This was before cell phones, but at least for those 2 or 3 hours in the movie, I couldn't be reached. I had a chance to engage with the screen and to just kind of lose myself in the storyline. And as a result of that, I brought the overthinking down. I don't have to do that anymore. I've learned better techniques like mindfulness and self-hypnosis. But distract yourself with something pleasant that's going to really kind of engage your interest and change the channel in your mind so you don't start thought looping about the whatever it is that's got you worried. Another technique I use, especially when I tend to think too much about projects that I have to do, responsibilities I have to fulfill, I create a plan and then I follow it. I break the project down into steps as granular as I can, and I'll consider outcomes and possibilities while I'm doing the planning. But once the plan is made, I don't rethink it. I just chop through the granular steps needed to achieve the goal of the plan or whatever it is I'm aiming for. I joke about that you want to create this so that what you've got is, a big pile of uncranked widgets next to a widget cranking machine. And all you have to do is crank those widgets and work through the steps of your plan to accomplish the overall project. So I don't keep rethinking the project over and over and over again. I create a good plan, I stick to it, and because it's a good plan, I don't have to keep worrying about it, keep chewing on it, keep going over it, and imagining problems that will probably never materialize. So that is the danger of overthinking, and thank you for joining me. I'll be back next Saturday at 2:30 Central Time with another one of these videos. And next Saturday, I'm going to talk about fear and how to manage it, because fear can really mess us up a lot. And all of us have fears, but there are ways to overcome those fears and to live with a more positive frame of reference. As always, if you want to know more about my work as a hypnotist and a life coach, please feel free to reach out to me. There's a lot we can do. My personal practice is a practice of medical hypnosis, complementary medical hypnosis, in the sense that it is done in addition to conventional medical care. But I have a lot of training and a lot of expertise in helping people deal with a chronic medical situation or a scary diagnosis. I also do a great deal of work with weight management because weight is a major public health threat. And also we do the hypnotic enhancement of natural fertility for women who are seeking to become pregnant, and that can be done in lieu of IVF or in addition to it to raise the odds of a successful pregnancy. More on my website. Please feel free to check that out. Thank you very much. Have a good day.